welcome to part 4 of Let's Build a Block of Brooklyn Townhouses. So this part is sped up, as you guys can see, because a lot of you guys prefer it to see it sped up. That way I can move faster and it doesn't take me as much time because I am a slow builder and a slow furniture. So it makes sense for me to speed it up, and it's only sped up by 3 times, which is not a lot. In the beginning of the video it looked a lot, but that was just because I was going really fast between levels, going up and down, and that's why it looked really fast. But you'll see throughout the rest of the video that 3 times it's not really fast, it's just enough. So yeah, I read the comments on the last part and I went through all of your tips. And first of all, the mailbox, I decided to put in a wall in the last house, or the right part of the building, as you guys saw, and I put in the mailbox there. I could put in one of those in each house, one of a half wall near every door and then a mailbox near every door, but it didn't make a lot of sense to me. I didn't want it to cover the plants, and I actually counted how many little mailboxes that big mailbox has, and it has over 16, so there's only 16 apartments. It didn't make more actual sense for me to put in several of those. And overall, I just don't want this build to have any kind of bugs with the mailbox. If you have multiple mailboxes, that can cause some bugs, and I don't want that, so I just put in one. Another thing was the garbage bin, and someone actually said that I could do a shelter for the garbage bin and the mailbox and all of that, which I thought it would be a really great idea, because that way I could put in bicycles in there as well, but I wasn't sure how to do it, how to incorporate in the build that. So in the end I didn't build the shelter, and I just ended up putting the bin near the mailbox, because all the other bins that you see are just decorative, they are not actual functional. So yeah, that bin, it's in the far left next to the mailbox. And yeah, if you have Sims living in the apartments on the right, they have to walk all over the street, but hey. Other tips were about the parking lots in the back. I actually try, you guys, I think you may have saw it, me trying. Even in the diagonal, they don't fit really well there. It gets too busy and there's not enough space to put parking spots in the back, so I didn't. The stove, as you guys can see, I did move it away from the window, because you guys said for safety it wasn't safe to have oven under a window, which in the Sims doesn't matter, but in real life it does. And what else you guys said? Oh, someone said for me to put in bricks, to bring the bricks that I put in outside inside. So I did this in this kitchen. As you can see, I did bring the bricks inside, and I did put in shelves above the window instead of having the closets, not the closets, the cabinets. So it looks more open and it doesn't cover the window. So yeah, I did that, and I actually think it looks much better with the shelves instead of the cabinets. And I really like the look of the cabinets. That's why I placed the cabinets on the left space there, because I like the look of those cabinets. But yeah, I didn't put them above the window like you guys said. And also I didn't move in the stove next to the fridge, because I didn't like the look of having the stove next to the fridge, two appliances together. I didn't like that look, so I wanted a counter next to the fridge, so that's why the stove, it's in that position right there. As you can see, I'm also trying to add a little shelf that is from the store, but in the position that I wanted the shelf, it clips through the wall, as you can see. and that was bugging me. I didn't know if I wanted to have that clipping through the wall or not. In the end, I'm going to let it clip through the wall because you can barely see it, and I really like the look of that little shelf there. Maybe for some of you it will be too busy, or I don't know, if it bugs you and you want to download this, you can easily delete it. And also the shelf is kind of going through that little thing that I'm, not little, it's actually big, thing that I'm adding above the stove. It clips a little bit, but you can tell that it's just, or you can imagine that it's on purpose and just for decoration. I don't know. But if you delete that old shelf, it doesn't. There's a little space on the wall that is going to show where is no shelf, so it doesn't make sense for me to actually delete the shelf above that part because it won't look good. But yeah, in this episode I'm actually going to furnish this entire apartment for the exception of the bathroom. And in the end of the video I actually realized something and I was like, oh my god. Which is the bathroom is a little room like 2 by 2 squares, and you can't really put in toilets, sink, and a shower in a 2 by 2 room. You don't have enough space, so I don't know how I'm going to solve that because you need an extra square to fit everything that you need to have full bathroom. So I'm not sure how am I going to solve that, but that will like be a problem for the next part and the next episode, so not going to worry about that right now. But yeah, in the end I actually realized that that little room only has 2 by 2 areas, so I don't have a lot of space for the bathroom. But yeah, as you can see, I'm putting white wallpapers on the rest of the house, and I will also use some gray color in other areas. And I was going to try to add some wood, but I didn't like the effect. For me, it just looked too much, and I ended up not using the wood. But yeah, and the fridge, I was trying to make the fridge darker, but in the end I didn't manage to make it the color that I wanted, so yeah. And I'm going to change the tiles in the kitchen as well, and I'm going to do it now. As you can see, I'm going to change it to a black color if I'm not mistaken, but yeah, I wanted some separation between the living room and the kitchen, so that's why I ended up changing the colors of the floors. But yeah, and the rest of the space will be for the living room, and the dining room it will basically be for a couch and a TV and a couple of chairs and a table, which makes sense. And I'm adding a coffee machine because I don't know, like, you need coffee if you live in New York. Because every time that I watch a movie where people live in New York, everyone is drinking coffee. Like, it's unbelievable. But yeah, I added that coffee machine and I really like the design of that. So I decided to add it to the kitchen. And I had some extra space on the counters to do so. So why not? But yeah, I did also added a couple of sharing tables, and on the other side of the house there will be the bedroom and a little office space. It's very little, but there will be one. But yeah, and as you can see, I'm also adding some little decorative objects. So yeah. And by the way, someone actually leave me questions because last episode I wasn't sure what to talk about because I was furnishing and talking at the same time, and sometimes I didn't have anything to say. So I asked if you guys wanted to give me some questions, and there was someone that actually asked me a few, which was really, really cool. And I have wrote it down. I actually wrote it down, the tips as well that you guys gave me. But yeah, I wrote it down, the questions, and I think I'm gonna answer them now. And trying to talk about the video at the same time, which will be hard, but yeah. The first one is, where are you from? So I am from Portugal, and if you don't know where Portugal is in South Europe, or south of Europe, next to Spain. So we are basically neighbors with Spain. But yeah, it's a very small, not very small, but it's a fairly small country in Europe. How old are you? So I am 21, and I'm going to make 22 this year. So yeah. Why did you start a YouTube channel? So this one is kind of hard to really explain. And by the way, as you can see, I'm putting in the dining table, and it matches the kitchen, or the colors of the kitchen. But yeah, why did I start a YouTube channel? I don't know. When I actually first realized it, that was Sims community on YouTube, I thought it was very cool. But in the beginning, I only knew basically Let's Play. I used to watch Queen's Let's Play. But yeah, I didn't know about the whole creative aspect of building the houses. I would build, but I wouldn't know that other people build and put in videos. So when I actually figured it out, I was kind of like, I don't know, I found it very, very cool, and I wanted to share my creations as well. So yeah, I decided to put in my videos online and to share, because it's just cool. You kind of see other videos and you get inspired by them, and you take ideas, and then you build your own, and your own ideas will inspire someone else, and it's just kind of like a cycle of ideas flowing around, and it's just cool. So yeah, and I think other reason was like, well, if I can do something that I like and share my ideas with the world and still make a little bit of money with it, why not? I mean, I don't make a lot of money, that's for sure. I just make a little bit. But yeah, I thought it was cool. I mean, I don't make a lot of money with YouTube, because I do work outside of YouTube, but I don't make a lot of money with my work either. But yeah, I thought it would be cool, so I decided to start a YouTube channel. And yeah, I don't know, I just wanted to have fun and share my ideas. I was kind of nervous at the beginning, and sometimes I still am nervous about it, but I don't know, because I don't like the idea of being known throughout the world, which I'm not famous, and thank God, but that kind of, I don't know, I kind of get nervous with the idea, because I really like, I'm like shy, so I don't really like to be in the center of attention. So yeah, and that's kind of what makes me happy about my YouTube channel not being too big, because if it was huge, I would be a little bit more nervous, to be honest. So yeah. How long have you been studying English as a foreign language? Okay, I've been studying English since I was in my 5th grade. Yes, I think so. Basically, here you only have English classes, or your English classes start in your 5th grade. You can have it before, like you can start having them in the 1st grade, but it's optional. And when I was in school, it was even like, it wasn't an option really. It was like people that after school went to how do you say, like daycares, they would give English classes to the kids that would go to daycares if the parents want. And I never really went to a daycare. I was after school going home, so yeah, I didn't had English classes in my first years of school. And when I actually got to my fifth grade, and I was always a really great student, not really great, but a great student or a good student. And when I actually got to fifth grade and I got English, I didn't know anything. Most of my classmates know or knew more than me, and I was like, I don't get it. I could study the grammar and all of that, but the vocabulary was really hard because you don't really learn that. It's not enough for you learn in classes to kind of like read the text and know what it's about, and it's kind of hard to explain, but it's not enough what you learn in classes, especially when you just go to the fifth grade and a lot of the other people already know a few stuff and you know nothing. So yeah, and I basically started having English classes in my fifth grade, and I only stopped in my 11th grade. Yeah, so I had it 1, 2, 3. So my fifth, sixth, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 7 years of English. But it wasn't until my ninth grade that I actually started to understand English, because I knew the grammar, but I didn't know anything about English, to be honest. And it was when I actually started to listen even more music and playing more video games in English and actually seeing shows in English that I actually started realizing. And it was kind of like overnight something happened and something clicked and I started to understanding it. It's weird, but it's true. I don't think it is the classes that you have that actually make you understand other language. You need more than that. You need some kind of contact with the language, even if it's from movies or shows or music, but you need other contact than just classes, because otherwise you won't be able to learn a language. Or you will, but it's not the same thing. But yeah, so I studied English for about 7 years, and I also study French, but I'm terrible at it, like terrible, terrible. I never liked French, and in the beginning I didn't like English as well, so yeah, overall I just don't like languages. I don't like Portuguese as well. I hated to have, I didn't hate it, but it wasn't definitely my favorite class, Portuguese and English and French. I just always liked the science classes more, like math and chemistry and all of that. So yeah, and then when I went to college, I didn't have English anymore, but all the texts and all the things and books that I had to read were, the majority of them were in English. So yeah, that's basically it. So yeah, I studied for 7 years. Yeah. The other question is, what games do you play other than The Sims? And when I actually read this question, I was like, oh God, that's a question that you shouldn't ask, because I feel I can talk about this through all the videos. So I'm not sure if I should answer this question. And by the way, as you guys can see, I already done the living room, and I went with a more gray color scheme, and I added a little bit of orange because I really like orange with gray, and I still added that black and white color scheme as well, and the wood, so everything doesn't look the same, but it still matches a little bit. But yeah, as you can see, I did added a few wall decorations. A lot of the space on the wall will be white, and that's on purpose. I didn't want it to make it clutter I wanted to make it clean, so yeah. But about the question, what games do you play other than The Sims? So right now, I only play one game other than The Sims because I don't have time to play other games. But back a few years ago, not a few years, maybe even 2 years ago, I would play more games definitely. I would love to play GTA and Tomb Raider. God, those were the days. But yeah, right now I basically only play The Sims 3 and The Sims 4 for videos. I basically only open The Sims to make videos, which, don't get me wrong, it makes me really happy, but yeah, I only open The Sims 3 and The Sims 4 to make videos. I don't play like with actual Sims for maybe a year or 2 years now. But yeah, because what I really enjoy doing is buildings. So yeah. And the other game that I'm playing right now, it's World of Warcraft. I don't know if you guys know it. You probably know because it's a very well-known game. And I play it like in two ways, which is weird, and it may sound weird, but I play with my friends on a private server, which means it's not like on the real game, I guess, because my friends play on a private server, but I also play on the Blizzard server, like on an actual Blizzard server. But I play it alone there, which is kind of sad. But yeah, so yeah, and that's basically it. I've been playing The Sims and World of Warcraft now only. So yeah. And I wish I could play more of World of Warcraft. I don't have enough time, honestly, but yeah. Because the game is a little bit addicting. If you heard of the game, you probably know that it's a little bit of an addiction, but all the video games are supposed to be an addiction, and you may have heard stories and whatnot, but yeah, it's a little bit of an addiction, but it's a really cool game. It's a really nice game, and I love it. I don't play it, that game, I didn't start playing that game like until recently, not until recently, like like comparing with The Sims. I played The Sims for much longer. I started playing The Sims, I was probably, I don't know, 11, so probably from 10 years ago. 10 years ago, yeah, I think so. Maybe 10, maybe 9 years ago I started playing The Sims, and I only started playing World of Warcraft maybe, I don't know, 4 years ago, 4 years ago. So yeah, but those are the games that I'm playing right now, and I'm trying not to ramble a lot about it because I really like video games, and I wish I could play more, but I don't have the time. Another question is, do you use custom content? Why yes or why not? So I don't use custom content, and the main reason is because of you guys. I know a lot of people don't like to download things with custom content. I don't like it either. I would rather download something that I know that hasn't any custom content, and then I had my own if I do have it. So yeah, I don't put in any custom content on my builds because I know that's a big no for some people, and I do understand that. The other reason why I don't use custom content, it's because the majority of the custom content created doesn't look like it belongs to the game, and by that I mean that the design and the graphics of the custom content don't really match the game. They look weird, to be honest. So yeah, and even though there's some things that I have found some really great custom content that look like it was designed by the EA team that is responsible by designing the objects that go inside the game. It really looks like it's from the game, but I still don't like to use custom content because I know some of you won't like it and you won't download it because it has custom content, and I understand it because I don't like to download things that have custom content either, so that's the reason why I don't use it. Another one would be because I had problems before with custom content because I have tried it and it made my game had a few problems. So yeah, overall I don't use it. I don't have a problem with you guys using it. Like it's a really nice thing there is custom content out there, especially for people that only have the base game and stuff. It really adds a lot to the game, and there's really cool custom contents. I have seen things that are really cool and that I want to have it in my game, but it doesn't look like it belongs to the game, and I don't want to have custom content in my builds because I know that some people are not comfortable with it, which I understand. So that's the reason why I don't use custom content. But if you count custom content as store content, like objects from the Sims 3 store, yes, I use custom content because I have a lot of objects from the Sims 3 store, and I just love the Sims 3 store, honestly. I really love. I think it's so good to little decorations. To do little decorations. I mean, it's amazing. So yeah, and that was basically the last question. So yeah, thank you for your answers. By the way, it was really nice. Your answers, your questions. Did I say your answers or your questions? I don't know. But yeah, thanks. And with this, I already done the entire living room, and I'm working in the office area right now. And as you can see, I did put in a bunch of photos and draws on the left wall there near the desk, just to make it look like it's a working space. I also put in a little camera there because the camera didn't fit on the actual desk. And there's a computer and a little bit of working lights. I call it working lights because they really look like they belong to an office. But yeah, and as you can see, there's the bed, and it's a Murphy bed, and I thought that it would make more sense to have a Murphy bed because it's an open space, so if you want, you can close the bed and it can be more of actual open space. You can have more room if you want to close the beds. But yeah, I just thought it would be cool to add the Murphy bed. And also I added this little curtain in the window, and it fits perfectly, and thank God, because it's very rare to find curtain that works really well in a window. So yeah, I'm happy how well it fitted. It's probably because it's meant to be on that window, because the curtain and the window, I think they are both from Ambitions, or maybe the window is from University. Maybe they are not from the same expansion packs, but if they are, it explains why they fit so well. But yeah, and as you can see, I still bring a little bit of the black and white color scheme to the bedroom and to the office area. I'm not sure what color am I going to use on this dresser. I'm going to play a lot with the colors on this dresser because I had a few problems choosing the colors on this one. And in the end, I think I will actually just replace and put in another dresser because this one wasn't really working and I wasn't sure what to do with it. And I'm also going to make the bed frame black, and the Duna cover, I don't know what color I'm going to make it. I think it's a gray. I'm going to start by doing a blue, and then I will change it to gray to match the curtains on the window, but I think that will be really near the end. But yeah, and as you guys can see, I still haven't put in the door to the bathroom, because I'm not even thinking about the bathroom at this moment. I'm not even like, it's not even on my mind. And when I actually realize and I put in the door, I go like, oh my god, there is not enough space. But yeah, we shall see how am I going to deal with that. But yeah, I hope I don't have to, I don't know, how am I going to fit an entire bathroom in there. I didn't want to use the all-in-one bathroom. uh, I wanted to do a full-on bathroom, so maybe I will have to extend the bathroom. I don't know, we shall see. But yeah, and as you can see, I did put in these little clothes hanging, but I'm going to delete them because I actually realized that's because they were in the front of the window, they are covering some of the actual natural light, and I didn't realize that until I started moving things around, and I found that it was actually covering a little bit of the natural lights, and I'm going to delete those clothes. Even though I did like the look of them, but I am going to delete them, and I'm just going to put in a shoe rack in that area, so there's still natural light coming in. And as you can see, I'm changing the seat of the office area to match the bed, but in the end I'm going to change the Duna cover as well, and I'm going to change the seat of the chair in the office area as well. But yeah, as you guys can see, I'm trying to be consistent with the color scheme through the entire house. Not necessarily with the colors in the fabrics, but with the colors on the furniture, like the black, the white, and the wood. So it looks all consistent, because it's all one big room. There's a division, yes, but it's all open, so it needs to have some kind of consistency throughout the house. At least that's what I think. So yeah, I think in a few moments I will add that shoe rack, or just some decorations above the dresser. Yeah, some decorations above the dresser. And as you can see, I did change the dresser because I just couldn't choose the right colors for the other one. And here I added the blue to match the rest, but at this moment I look at things and I thought, this doesn't match the house at all. At least I didn't think it matched the house, so I'm going to change all the colors, and I'm going to bring the gray here, and I think I'm going to put that little lamp with more orangey or browny color. And the mirror is going to be, what color is going to be the mirror? I don't know, I don't remember. But yeah, as you can see, I changed the Duna cover, and I'm going to delete those hanging clothes because they look a little bit too cluttered too, to be honest. So yeah, and adding the door to the bathroom, because the house needs a bathroom. You're not going to rent a house that doesn't have any kind of bathroom. That doesn't make any sense. So yeah, because when I was furnishing this, I was totally forgetting about the bathroom, to be honest. I was. But then I saw that little space and I was like, oh, it's the bathroom, okay. And then I was like looking at it and I realized it's too small. But yeah, and here I'm going to put in the shoe rack so things don't look as cluttered as before. And I'm just going to make it black. But yeah, I think we are basically done. This video was a little bit long. I will try to make the next one a little bit smaller. But yeah, thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you all have an amazing day, an amazing week, and I guess I will see you all next part after I put in this pin. So yeah, bye!